Hello, this is Lisa Russick and Misty Lore with the podcast We Are All Psychic. And today, like I promised, Harold is here, and we finally figured out how to make this happen. It's a video podcast on Spotify. Harold, would you like to say hello?
Hello.
Hello, Harold. So we have a question for
Harold.
you. Do you think we're all psychic?
Yeah. Of course.
All right. So how'd you get to that conclusion?
Well, that could be a long time by itself, but psyche means what? Psyche is everything that's connection, so we're all connected. So, I mean, you could go do with that, you know what I mean? And I think everybody has this, but they just are unaware, or they're just, since we're born, we're not taught to do this.
Yes.
This exists. So we're basically controlled. And so we don't have power, and we can't do all these things, but we can. And it just takes, if you're not born into the family or someone that does that or that can teach you and all that, you kind of have to figure it out on your own. And that's difficult.
That's what you did pretty much, isn't it? Figured it out on your own.
Since I always had an idea that I always knew I could feel things, and there was other things, and I was open to stuff, and I had a lot of paranormal things happen when I was younger, and that kind of was like, okay, if this is real, then what else? Because you kind of have to know. Everybody can tell you anything. It's just like life, but you have to experience. You have to be like, okay, that's for sure. And then from then on, right? Then from then on, okay, this is possible. This really happened, but maybe it's only one time. You know what I mean? But then when it happens more, and then so on, and then it just led to me up to losing. When I lost my sight, everything just started to, okay, this was real. This does make sense. Okay, I can do this. And it's not scary because it's for a good cause. We don't have these things this is to help.
Right.
This is not like to hurt people, and all people are scared of this word psychic or medium or clairvoyant or whatever. And I'm kind of like, what do you call it? Because there's many different things. There's many different abilities.
It's really what you identify with, I think. Yeah.
So, but it's catchy though. We're all psychic, because that is true. And it's animals, babies, people, everything, plants.
I agree. Rocks.
Right. It's all.
We all can connect, can't we?
Yes.
So listeners and watchers, Harold and I have been trying to get this podcast together for a while. And when we first finally got the talk, he told me that he has been in a wheelchair since he was 10. Is that right? When you were 10?
Yeah. Yep.
And then he lost his sight completely, about a year ago?
Yeah, it was a year in June. So, a year and 4 months.
And he told me that he's been a fan of the podcast. And when I heard some of the stories he told me about growing up, and I really just thought about, how, Harold, you have been, not able to live anywhere near close to a normal life that most of us do, not being able to walk around and then losing your sight. And I think that, I feel like when we have communicated right away that you have this great intuition, and I think you're just born with it. But I think maybe your disabilities, make it stronger, amplify it. It seems like to me. Like you had told me that you could see colors with it now, like every once in a while, like energy colors and stuff. Can you talk about that? Like, what's that?
Recently I just started, it's like it comes on in shifts, and then maybe my body adjusts to whatever it is, and then I'm able to incorporate it, if that makes sense.
That's what a lot of people call it, energy shifting. So your energy will shift into a new perspective, kind of, and a new status or state, and you can do more. That's what
kind of like right now. I don't know. See, I don't know whether it's coming from me sometimes, or if it's in the room or other people, because it just went away because I noticed it. That's when I noticed it. But it's like I would just see a bluish up above area. Sometimes I'll see like maybe a rainbow of a couple different colors. A lot of times I think it's me, because the other day I tried just to think of like happy moments or something, like when I was in childhood, which I didn't think of my childhood as being happy until I started going in and remembering things and doing the work and being like, it wasn't that bad, and it's not this bad,
Right.
But I started to see blue, so I was like, wait a minute, maybe this has to do with mood too. With my
In
mood, right?
angel colors, blue is bravery. In auras, it's usually bravery and healing and strength and empowerment and stuff like that. A lot of blue is in angel colors, and in witch colors, I think it is a healing color usually.
I first discovered it probably a month or two ago because I had heard about people that if you close your eyes and if you do like, see what I can do this, I got to do it real fast. I wave my arms back and forth, one or the other, and look indirectly and I could see the blue. And that's where it started off. Just
you're
a little
seeing your
blue
aura.
trail.
Yeah.
Like a trail, right? Like a vapor.
Yeah.
And then it went into, like right now I'm seeing a circle up above, which is, sometimes I'll see a shape, right? It literally looks like a blue circle or a triangle or a square, but I don't know what to make out of it. And then when I go outside now, I can see like a different shade. Like I could tell where the side of the house was and then where the ground was. Like,
that's cool.
Maybe it was green and blue. You know what I mean? So it was almost like a radar or like a infrared or whatever you want. And I was telling my brother-in-law, but he doesn't understand. I said, well, I haven't seen color. I haven't seen nothing except for when I dream. You know what I mean? I haven't seen nothing but dark in a year and a half almost. And when I see colors now, I'm like, oh my.
Wow.
I want more.
So I want to go back to what you said. Sometimes you're not sure if it's you, if it's other people, or if it's entities. I would say like whatever feelings or emotions that come up for you when you see these colors might be a good indicator. Have you noticed anything like that?
Well, like sometimes when I'm talking to certain people, which is just mostly on the phone because I don't get to go out much now, it's or on the social media, it's get brighter or darker. I have noticed that for me.
What feeling comes with that?
And it does correlate. There's no feeling. No, it's just
information.
I think it's just a person. See, it just got dark just a second. It was brighter, now it just got dark. I don't really have a way to study all. Like I'm just figuring out that part, and then the colors they kind of just seem to go. But a lot of times I'll just see blue around me, kind of like around my nose area.
Wow.
Going up.
To me, it's kind of like being protected.
Like an outline of my body, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like being what, Misty?
Protected.
Yeah.
Like when you say angel, I'm thinking, he's got a blue protection around him, kind of.
Yeah, Archangel Michael is associated with blue, and he has the protective, and also it's also a sign of an old soul.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I've always felt like I was here lots of times. I always like other times better. I always felt like I either was from somewhere else or didn't belong. I mean, I had always, and that this body this isn't the way it gets a cage.
Yeah.
And plus the disabilities and all that, losing sight. But I mean, you feel like this is not your natural. I've always felt like this is not me. That makes sense.
Yeah. And how are you feeling now that you've been exploring your energy side?
Oh, I'm happier than I tell people. When I told my one friend to help me, I said, if I could go back and have my sight now, I wouldn't change it.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Because I'm happier now than I was before that. It didn't change anything because I lost my sight. It didn't be like, okay, now, I still, I can do a lot less. That's what I'm trying to figure out, but I figured out what I can do now.
Good.
And I can talk and I can share my story and I can help people and I can help people with these little things too, just like you do. If you guys hadn't helped me, like I said, I don't know. I was listening to podcasts. I didn't know what a podcast was. Mm-hmm. My sister had always mentioned listening to podcasts and radio. And so I was just talking to the speaker one day and I said, hey, play some psychic podcast. So I listened to them and that's my intuition. If I don't feel anything, I go to the next, And so I trust that. I've learned to trust myself. You have to trust yourself.
That's first. Hard. Yeah.
That's the hardest thing because you've been beat down probably since you were born that you're wrong or you're too sensitive or you're this or that. That's what I was told. Or I'll give you a reason to cry, you know what I mean? Or bruising for a bruise and you cry and you hurt. You don't know why, but you want everybody to be happy and that's all you want.
Yeah.
And, But yeah, I heard about it and I started listening to you guys and I said, okay, wait a minute. Who are they? They're just laughing and giggling. And I just I just relaxed. So I said, okay,
Good.
I'm at home. Like, seriously. And when you don't have that, what can you do? And then you hear that and you're like, okay, I'm not so alone. This is me. I've experienced this. This makes sense. There's no way that this is, because I don't believe in coincidence, accident, uh, none of that stuff.
Me either.
Me neither.
Everything has a reason and a purpose. So I don't believe that things just happen.
I
And
agree.
so I
Me
heard
either.
that. I heard you, and I said, okay. And it kept me every week, a couple of days, it was 2 times a week or whatever. And then you would get sworn on a while.
Ah, we're all over the place. Yeah.
We just were
Yeah, we are.
feel well, whatever. I was actually feeling this stuff. And I
You
was
were?
asking, are you okay? Where are you at? Because I didn't know what to do. And if there's other people, like me that don't know what to do, who are you going to call? Like Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
It's the truth. But you can call
Right.
people for that. You got ghost hunters now,
Yeah.
they call it, which I don't like the term ghost hunters
Yeah. They're not supposed to be
because
hunted.
you're
They're
not
already
hunting and
dead.
killing anything.
That's so funny.
Yeah, ghost hunters, right?
That's a good one.
But yeah, who are you going to call? So we have to call you, and other people, but there you can't rely. Not all these people are for real either. And I'm not going to talk about.
Or there are
anybody.
different levels of development too. Some
Oh,
people
yeah.
are at different levels. Like I did a podcast. We've done so many podcasts with people who have done things that I like astral project. I can't do that. I'm
I've done that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Tell us about that. Yes. Tell us.
God. Because you said I might even be able to do what you said, where you what's it called when you tune
Lucid
into a place?
dreaming. Lucid
No,
dreaming.
the other one. Like the Army used to use. They hired people.
Oh, remote viewing.
Yeah, because I thought that one day I heard you and Misty having that conversation the next day. And I heard you, remember?
Yeah.
And you were talking about me, and I don't know if I was projecting there because I just heard it or what you call that. But yeah, when I was a kid, I remember more or less when I was a kid because I think that's when you start to shut down after a certain age, right? If you don't get into it, you're just like, you don't do it anymore or whatever.
Right.
And right? Is that what you feel too?
Yes.
Yeah, we all do.
Psychic stuff. Yeah. And so when you hit 10, 11 years old or whatever, and then you're kind of like, okay, well, that's just normal, or you don't even pay attention.
Right.
But I used to dream of the same places, and I know that they meant because it was so real. It was more than real than I don't even want this. You know what I mean? I want that.
Yeah.
And when it was bad, though, it was the same thing, though. The nightmares, you know what? Because I dealt a lot with that, too. And you have to learn how to kind of put that. And I don't even know how mine kind of just started to go away once I just started to forgive and don't forget, but forgive things.
Yes. Yes. My dreams, I have to understand them. And once I understand the message, then they'll stop happening, the stress dream.
And then you won't have the nightmares. Yes, you have to do that but yeah, I used to dream about, I remember dreaming about flying. And I have a fear of heights, really. I mean, I'm afraid.
I do too.
I've fallen on the floor before, and I'm afraid because I could really get hurt. But
you can, yeah.
But yeah, I used to dream about flying up into space and just going up, and I didn't see nothing. It wasn't my body. I just used to remember the coolness, but I could breathe, like I was saying. And then you're like, well, you're not in your body, and yeah. But I didn't think, that I'm actually, how could you leave your body and be alive and then come back to it?
You just didn't know.
I know it was space. I know what it was, or it was somewhere up there. It was dark, and there was sprinkly dark. You know what I mean? Twinkly dots. But I went up and I flew, and I used to remember flying and going up into people's. I didn't look into the windows though, unless I don't remember that part. But but literally, I would remember hovering, going out the street when I was sleeping, and I just think I'm having these dreams. But I would listen to like people in their house, and then go to another house, and then I had an island or some kind of paradise that I used to go to, and I don't know if you can call that heaven or.
It's interesting that you say that because when I do shamanic trance work, I take people to what I call their places. And what you're describing sounds to me like your place. Misty's heard me talk about that before. Yeah. It's like your place is all yours and your imagination. And it's like something that is just yours and you feel great there, right?
Which one? The island one? Or?
Yeah, island one. Or any of them. There can be more than one place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was like green. And it wasn't water, though. I don't remember that. I just remember... And there's nothing there but me, and I don't see me or anything that represents me. It's just
that's it.
Feeling of being. It's a feeling of being at this place, and you can smell it, and you're there, and you feel everything. But it was just so green and so beautiful colors. Like you just can't describe. You could try to remember it, but you can't really, And then I had a weird one that I would have a lot, where I was going into the TV set, you know, like a giant floor model, big screen where I would put my hand into it. I don't think that was like an actual really thing I could do, but maybe that represented.
You may have been
what you could think.
astrally doing it. Your astral hand could have come out of your arm and touched.
It went into the TV.
Yeah.
But then I would go all the way, but I won't remember where was in there. I
Oh,
would just
wow.
remember going in. And I'm like, it would happen a lot. And then I started remembering when I started having dreams again, and doing all this work, I started remembering and having dreams and remembering my dreams again. And then the childhood dreams came back. And I said, wow. And they were nice places. I must have needed to go there at the time or whatever. And it was amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to, because
Yeah,
I've tried to meditate a few times and I just can't seem to,
Well, you know what,
down.
Harold? I've been looking for somebody to do an astral projection. I had someone ready to do it, but she had a baby. So maybe it's past the baby stage, the infant stage. She'll be able to do that podcast and teach us all how to astral project, but she's really good at it. But I think you just need to get there's some little phrase or some little piece of knowledge or information or knowing that you're going to get, and then you're going to be able to do it like that.
It can happen that way. Yeah, because what I have I could do a lot of stuff on purpose, but a lot of stuff is kind of like a fishing line. I would describe it as where some stuff just gets pulled in,
Right.
And you're like, okay, I got to say this, or I got to do this, or I have to, this means something, but I don't know all the time who it's for, or if it's just for me. And like the other day, this is probably for everybody, but it's believe in you came from me. And this right now, I think people need to, at this moment, right, believe in you, because this or this religion or this other, because there's all these talks about who or whatever. Believe in you. You have the power. Yeah.
Right.
And all of us together.
Yourself. Yeah.
We're going to do it. You know what I mean? So it's not the individual this or the group of this or the book of this or whoever wrote this. Believe in you. That's when it comes down to everything. Just look at yourself and believe in you. What you feel is right, that's what you're given. That's your gift.
And in the end, that's all you have to worry about yourself. What's that, Misty?
I said, in the end, that's all you have anyway. Is yourself.
That's what I was about to get at too. Yeah, you're your best friend. I mean,
you're given what you need, right? That's all you need, and you could grow food and do things if you really need to. If that pulse comes and takes out the electronics or whatever else these end of the world scenarios, right?
There's a lot of them.
Who's going to be able to go out there and live? I bet you the people with the high sensory perception, I call it, not ESP or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're going to make it because you can rely on them senses, and you can do things and go out and with the animals, right, and the earth and the trees, and teach other people, right?
Right.
So
I have a question, Harold.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Misty's dying to ask some questions, but I had one question. I just wanted to know, while you're speaking with us, are you seeing any colors or having any empathic experiences or any telepathic? Are you having any kind of psychic experiences during this interview?
I'm waiting right now because it's brightening up a little bit. You say that because I'm paying attention to it. It's just brightening up.
Is it brightening up in a color or just
and then it went away? And then it went darker. It just brightened up instead of being black. I see light, kind of.
And when you went to look for it, though, right? When I asked you if you see
when you noticed it, it started to brighten up, and then it went away. Yep.
Interesting.
So it was dark, and then when he said, "Are you looking for any, or do you see anything happening?" It started to get bright like a blip, and then blew back down, and just dark.
Wow! So it did, but you just don't know.
Now I'm seeing blue up above, over here above my eyebrow.
I'm sending it to you right now.
Right up there. You are right here, like around my eyes.
Yeah.
Like around, but not covering my eyes, because if your eyes were blue, like it's like around, it's like a trace,
So crazy. Is it a circle or is it just a blur or?
It's like an outline around my body from what I can see through my eyes, though, because you can't see your whole body through your eyes.
Yeah.
But I can see it around.
I just sent you some color. I tried to send you some blue just now, right before you said that.
That's so cool, Misty. Yeah. Misty, do you have questions? I know you've got a million.
Oh, I've got a million questions.
Go.
The question is where to start.
Right, I know. That's how I feel.
Well, I want to know a little bit more about you, Harold, and your story. I want you to tell
Okay.
me your story.
Whew. Well, when I was born, I could tell my age and all that, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't have
Yeah.
nothing to hide. But since I lost my sight, I'm like, you know what? Whatever I got, I want to help people. I can give. Let me be the vessel or whatever you want to call it. So, uh, yeah, I was born in '78, so I'm 43, right? And then when I was 2 is when they found what I have called juvenile rheumatoid arthritis and arthrogryposis. It's like a ad. There you go. You know what I mean? There you go. There's something else for you. And to get them both together, to get one is kind of one of them million or billion or whatever. And it basically caused the cartilage to dry up in my joints. So
Mm.
that's the juvenile rheumatoid arthritis plus all the pain that comes with
Oh.
the arthritis. But when you're born with it, when my mom took me in, I used to fall down. I couldn't walk. It hurt so bad. I was crying all
Oh.
the time. That's when they were like, okay, something's wrong. And I was real fat. My joints would swell up. They don't do that anymore. But if I get real hot, sometimes my knuckles will, you know, swell up sometimes. But I used to get real fat. So they thought it was other things. They didn't know I would blow up, but it was the swelling of the joints and all that stuff. So I had all this going on in like 1980. They're trying to, what's wrong with
Yeah,
this?
and you're a kid, a little kid, and they don't know what's going
Oh
on.
my gosh.
That's
You know what I mean?
horrifying.
And so that's when they found out that that's what it was, but they really couldn't do nothing. So when I was 5, that's when they started me on 21 baby aspirins a day for pain.
What,
And
21 of them?
21, 3 times a day, 7. Yeah. At 5
Damn.
years old. And I started my eye problems at like 3 or 4,
Oh my God.
but they put drops. They had some drops that would take care of them back then. And I had forgotten because it had been over 30 years before I started having them again. And it was called uveitis, iritis. And
Okay.
plus I had, where you can't see far away, is it nearsighted or far?
Nearsighted. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
nearsighted.
that too, and stigmatism. Those were the
I
first 2
have that
things
too,
I had.
astigmatism. Yeah.
Yeah. But they could treat them then and they went okay, but they left little floaters, they had called, like little spots, like little scars, I guess. But you learn. I mean,
I have a
you
few
live with it.
floaters. Yeah, I'm just used to
Yeah,
it.
We're just talking
I think
yeah,
about.
everybody has floaters, like,
floaters,
Yeah.
there's little dots.
Mhm.
yeah.
And then so I just went on, I had, oh my gosh, so many other surgeries. I had a, I had a body cast from my hip popping out of the joint. That's all they said at the time they could do, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Put me in a whole body cast for 8 weeks.
Oh my
And
God.
that dried up all the cartilage. I could walk before that.
Oh.
You know, after that, I couldn't do nothing. And I remember the first time I got touched when they took the cast off. Right, I was laying in the stretcher. And they put you in the hallway until someone comes to get you. Yeah, the nurse to take you to your room or whatever. Right. And so I remember the person came up and just tapped me on my knee, and I freaking screamed because that's the first time I've been touched since they took this cast off for 8 weeks, and it hurt so
Oh,
bad.
Oh my
But I
God.
couldn't stand after that. They couldn't bend my knees after that.
Oh.
I, that was done. And then I had to wear a halo because my spinal cord got really thin from the arthritis, they said. So they had to take a bone out of my back and put it in my neck in the back. My
Yeah.
head almost fell off. They said if I wouldn't have went in for a checkup one time, that literally, that's how the doctor described it. He said your head would have just fell off.
Gosh.
So
wow.
they had
That sounds like a
And
lot of
so
pain.
you're like 10, 11, 12 dealing with all
before all
this.
this, yeah,
That's
all
like
this happened
it's all
before
you
that.
knew of life. That's all that there was.
Jesus. And I can still see, I don't know, on my forehead, there's a hole, especially on this side over here. It's the scars more, but there's 2 holes on the left and the right. And in the back, I got the 2 holes. They're never going to go away. But, and it's been 35 years almost. But, those are from them drilling. They had to literally drill these screws in and hold my head up with this round bar, like a halo, like an angel would call it.
Okay.
And then the 4 bars would come down to this vest you would have on, you had to wear. And so I got the holes in my skull because I don't think your skull it doesn't regrow, right? Your skull.
I don't think
Right.
any bone regrows unless
But the
it
skin
like just
and stuff
grows.
will
Yeah.
regrow
Yeah.
over it, right? So the holes there's just skin and stuff that regrow. It's real sensitive there too.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
weird though. Oh, scars are still there. And then I had the halo and they cut my legs a couple of times because I couldn't walk. So they tried to do tendon surgery.
Tendon surgery. Yeah.
On
Yeah.
my knees and hips. So that didn't work. At some point when I was a teenager, I said, no more.
Yeah. I bet.
No more practicing because it's Franken. I felt like Frankenstein. How could you
Yeah.
not? You know?
Yeah.
And then all
Yeah.
the medicines they had me on and the shots they used to give me and the blood work they constantly would take out of me. They had to prick my fingers because I don't have, like, they couldn't get it out of my arm. So they used to use this little metal thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they had to do all 10 fingers just to
Oh.
get a tube of blood out. And I would have these swollen fingers. And I go,
Oof.
oh, and I'm like, this is too much pain. Like, that's what I dealt with all that. Like, I carried that for so many years until I realized I don't need to do that. That's not, this is to
Have
help
you
other
found
Right.
people.
have you found a way with working with your energy to find pain relief? Have you found any techniques for that? With because you
Oh, yeah.
seem like you've been really powering it. You've always had the gifts and the ability.
Yes.
But you're you know what they are now. It sounds like. So have you been able to find some healing that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Because let me tell you, since it went from the 21 baby aspirins to Oxycontin. Okay? So and that's a bad word. Anybody knows that. And that was prescribed by the doctor. So that's when I got to where it was too much. Plus, I was on Xanax because I started having panic attacks, they called it. And I was in there for 8 times in 10 days. I was in the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It literally feels like you're dying.
Oh,
And I
yeah. A
had
panic attack will feel like you're dying. Yeah. Or you're wishing.
for days. Though, have you ever had them for like 2 or 3 days straight?
Yeah, I
You
have.
can't sleep.
I
Oh,
have.
it's so bad. And they're like, well, here's pills. I don't want pills. And the PCP gave me both. You can't give Xanax to someone. They told me at the pain clinic later on.
You can't
But I was
take
taking
both. Yeah.
with Xanax, right? So I was doing that. Plus I was drinking. Plus I was doing the part. I was just doing all of it
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to deal with the pains and the emotions and just what was mine and what's not mine and like your body pain. But ever since I started getting clearer and not doing certain things like Buddha, I listened to audiobooks too. So that helped me a lot. But Buddha, right thinking, right eating, right, all that right stuff. It's true. Don't listen to the wrong things. Don't eat the wrong foods. Don't think the wrong way. Try to do it, and then you'll get clearer. And then the clearer you get, the more your abilities, you'll be able to receive the messages and know that it's not yours, that it's spirit or whatever. Because that's the thing, right? How do you know when it's not you just saying, "Okay, I need to do this"? So you have to be clear to do that.
Yeah. You have to get
You don't want to give
really
someone,
discerning.
yeah, you don't want to give someone your opinion. It's not from you, right? It's not coming from you.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be like, well, you should do this because no, you want to be like, okay, this is what I'm getting. Maybe, certain, you have to just, and so that's what I'm learning. I don't want to tell people based on have my own judgment. I don't want to, no judgment. You can't have judgment.
Right. Right.
You
I
have to
think
be
that's why I
completely
forget most of my readings when I give them. I just kind of zoom, like take
right
myself,
into it.
try to take myself
Yeah.
out of the equation.
Autopilot, right? That's what I'm learning. I say that to myself. I'm on autopilot. I don't have to dodge. I don't have to dodge. It always feels like things are dodging. You got to dodge it. This is this coming at me all the time. No, just relax. I learned to time myself, put it down in to the ground, wear a mental vest. I got all these things I started putting on. Once these things started working in my mind, a pink bubble. So we all have bubble, right? Our energy.
Yeah.
And mine is pink. And that's because I'm coming with unconditional love. And this is my whole thing. You get what you put out, and it doesn't matter what somebody done to you or what you thought happened or whatever. You have the choice of how to deal with that, right?
Absolutely.
Respond, don't react. And so my bubble's pink. And if you think about it's all water. Everything's in water. My droplet is pink. It goes into the water. It changes it all pink.
I love that.
So
That's awesome.
you can have whatever color you want. You know what I mean? Whatever your color is. But for me, that's what I want to do. I want to come into the place and be like, wait a minute, somebody feels something. They know. That's what I want to do and give that to people because there's so many people that just, I've been close to death 30 times and I've known that many people that have died and it wasn't in like group deaths or it was like individual people. And I try to remember all of the names because, we all have a connection. Like I said, and there's people that are sad. I've been doing people that committed suicide and didn't know they had a problem.
Yeah.
If you could help anybody, even just smiling at them,
Yeah.
When you notice this, when someone walks by you and you're in public, do they look at you or do they look down or they smile at you or they courteous? Do they open the door? Probably none of those things.
Sometimes it just depends.
It depends.
the looking down is very common. People looking and looking down. It's just
see.
no
But
comfort.
you know what? There's lots of times where somebody just smiled at me or opened the door and it made my day.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that, right?
Yeah.
So do that for other people. And that's a simple,
Absolutely.
you can do that. Anybody can do that. I had a pastor tell me once I can't do nothing much or do much or anything because I'm in a wheelchair.
I remember you telling me that. That's
I
horrible.
said, are you kidding me? And you know what? One day I'm going to contact him one day when I'm helping people and all that. But I don't want to just do it because of that. I'm doing it.
You're going to daydream about it.
Yeah, I don't want to be rubbing it in his face, that, hey, I did something. But you know what? I know I'm helping people. And whenever people say something that validates me, I'm seeing blue right now, too, again. And just people come up to me when I used to go out and they'd be like, hey, I think people are afraid to talk, they're afraid. But I want you to come up and say, hey, you're out. I'm happy to see you. Because people would literally come up to me and they'd be surprised to see me outside. Because I would catch, before I went blind, I'd catch the public bus and go out to the mall or whatever, just hang out.
Yeah.
And I want people to come up and say, hey, how's your day or whatever. But it's like they're afraid to just do normal stuff. And at that time, I wasn't somebody that's going to go up and, hey, how are you? Now I will because I want to be the light.
You're outgoing.
Spread the light. Yeah, I have nothing to hide. Like I said, I'm confessing all my stuff. I let go of all that. I gave everything. And at first I went back and tried to find people that I thought that I might have said something wrong to or just felt a little odd just to let it go on my hand because I don't want to carry that and then come back and do it again. Or whatever you believe in, if you believe we're coming back again. I don't want to learn that lesson. I want to learn it now.
Amen. I know.
Do something different, right? Next time.
Yeah. I agree.
And I have a chance now because I said that one night, literally. If you want me to tell you how I prayed for God to take me and that last
yes,
night?
Comfortable with
it. Yeah, because I was when I was younger, I was depressed, but it just hit me after going to 13 doctors and playing refer a friend is what I called it, and they said now what I have is those three things that I have. I got glaucoma and I got cataract and I got retinal vein occlusion and macular edema on top of all the rest of that. Before they caught it, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had lost one eye. I'd lost the left eye, and then it took 3 years, and then the other eye went within a year, the right eye.
Yeah.
So I kind of was okay with one. I was like, okay. But then the other one, that's when it hit me. And I was laying there in bed one night, and I didn't sleep for days or weeks. Sometimes I don't even know. I don't have a clock anymore. There's no such thing as time, and there really isn't.
Yeah.
And you could get into all that too,
Yeah.
That's another discussion, time and what's real and what isn't, because when you can't see, you can go to sleep when you want, you're awake when you want,
Yeah.
But I would lay there and I didn't sleep. And then one night I was awake and I said, God, if it's not going to get any better, like what was the purpose? Why was I born disabled and all this torture all these years, and went through all this and now I'm blind and I can't do nothing but stay in this room. I can't even use my hands to get on a computer anymore, which is the only thing I could pretty much do before, or watch TV, and I was just, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this no more. And I have sleep apnea too. So that's another thing thrown on top of all that.
Yeah.
So I quit breathing in my sleep sometimes, but it'll happen when I'm awake too. And I don't know but that night about 20 times it happened and it scared me and it said, okay, I understand now. And it got into my head. Okay, I'm here and that's not the way it flipped almost immediately. It wasn't, I'm still, but I'm still getting there and I'm almost to where I would like to be. I want to get nirvana. I want to get peace on earth.
Me too.
And I don't know. They say you can't get that way, right? They say nobody can be that way all the time. Bull crap.
You prove them wrong.
Bull crap.
I'll try with you.
Why can't you feel peace all the time? No matter what comes at you, you can be like, okay, let's go. Right?
Why do
you have to be sad about something? Why do you have to be like, okay, this person's around and they're close to me. I can't help it be affected. And people don't realize that's psychic too, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're related or whoever. There's a connection there. We
have the word empathy for a reason.
Yes. It's not a weakness. It's not a weakness. But most people, they shut that off.
Yeah.
I'm weak. I don't want to feel for you.
Well, not
And I was
always
like
that too, but sometimes it feels like crap, especially if you don't know what it is.
Oh, it does.
You know, if you don't know
I
what
don't
it
want to feel
is
that
and you're just
way.
picking up the negative and then you don't know what's
Oh,
going on, why every time I'm around people that I feel horrible.
that's all I feel.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what it was for me, you know. And
It's
then when
like
I
a
got
battery,
older,
but
not
then
so much.
Yeah.
it's like
I
you're the
can
one
agree
light.
with that.
Yeah. And it's so hard for people. They take all that in and they don't realize that, and their life just goes by, and that's it.
Yeah.
Seriously. And they do the same thing. Like I'm able to pick up patterns. I understand. I'm like, this person's been doing this for 20 years, but they don't understand. And you're going to get the same thing. It's insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and
Doing the
over
same thing with the
That's what
expecting a
they
different
say.
and
outcome.
expecting a different, yeah. It's like, you know, and that's what I feel like, you know, the hamster in the wheel. Does the hamster realize he's not going anywhere?
I haven't
Yeah.
asked the hamster, but I always got the impression he was trying to get buff for the lady hamster.
They don't realize they're not
I'm
getting
just
anywhere.
joking.
Do they think they're going to a different place?
Yeah, it's the
Or
same thing.
are they still doing this? Because that's what it feels like people are. So I'm recognizing that now. And that's why I can help people with my voice, my story, which everyone has a story, like you said. And people need to hear that too, because people are ashamed of what happened to them, or they can't talk about it. They keep it in, or they have to go to therapists. Those are fine too. I have nothing against them. Some people might have to pay for that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Then what if you can't afford that or whatever? But you could talk to somebody, you know,
always.
and you're not a freak and you're not, oh, I hear voices or I
So
see
what was your
this.
changing point there, Harold?
Oh, well, when I see the ghosts outside and all that, that kind of got me open to the paranormal. That this happened like 20 so years ago, and this was me and like 4 other people down the street here. And this was outside, and they used to talk about the house was haunted. So see, it was a lady and her son, and then her mother and her mother's boyfriend. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. They lifted my wheelchair up onto the porch, and it had just rained, right? And there was drops, like, but it was like 80 degrees or so, and I wasn't like on, you know, so I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't like, so I know what it was. And plus, we all saw this stuff. So I always tell people that, because when I hear people saying, "Oh, I drank or I did drugs," but I experienced this, it kind of, I don't want to judge them, but it kind of makes, you know, if you're clean, or it's one
It
of
wonders
ours.
if that may be interfering somehow with the
Yeah.
true
Yeah, I think it does too.
message.
But I'll never forget that. But it was a one time thing. And again, when you experience something like that, you think, oh, it's just one time. But yeah, they used to say our houses are haunted. They live 2 doors apart, the mother and the daughter. And I was like, you know, when I see it, I believe it type. Or
Yeah.
when it smacks me and I'm like, here, you know. But one night they lifted me on the porch, and it started off with what I guess people could say are orbs, right?
Yeah.
And this was across the street. So we're on the porch. They got a little yard right in front of it, sidewalk, and there's a street. And then there's a little parking lot. And there's some woods behind this little parking lot. So you could see the parking lot and the wooded area from across the street. It wasn't very far. And there's a street light right there. So I'm thinking there's some kind of light tricks, because I'm also scientific. I'm always trying to explain it away first.
Right.
And then once you have that little bit left, okay, maybe. So I'm thinking, okay, what is these for? They're balls, or glowing balls, like globes, different sizes, off the ground, and they're spinning. I could tell, like, because they were like smoky, like in the movies,
Yeah.
like you could see through, right?
Yeah.
And then it went from that. I don't remember like the transition into a doorway, and I mean, it was a doorway. It was a frame. It
Well,
went
like
up the
like
two
an
sides and the
entrance way,
top,
kind of.
but huh?
Like an entrance way.
Yeah, like a door with no door, like a frame. Yeah. But
Okay.
there was no bottom. It was like the top and the 2 sides, but it
Yeah.
was the same material, same color, like a smoky white. And then out of there came a man and a woman. And we all saw it. I mean, but it was neat because it probably went on for like 45 minutes to an hour, but
Wow.
it didn't feel like it didn't feel like any time. Like it was just peace, like this,
Yeah.
you're just in this
What they
thing.
look like? Do you remember what they looked like?
And yeah, you couldn't see like from far away, like the face and the features, but I could tell because it looked like they were dancing, and the woman's dress, you know, was in the wind, and they were holding hands, and I could make out all that. And then after that, it looked like little kids on the ground playing with something. because they were down there. They were doing something, and it was kids. And a lot of it might have been intuition and then seeing it, putting it together too, because I couldn't see eyes and noses, but you could see the
That's how
outline. And
spirits appear to me too. It's kind of a blur, but you can define like a maybe high cheekbones. Or
yeah,
maybe
oh
the
my
color or
God.
shape of the hair or the body figure. But
Yeah,
for me,
because
there's a
there's
blur with
yes, male or female, or the hair's long or short,
yeah.
and they're playing. And then after that, what happened while this was going on? I said, I don't believe this. I said, go over there, go over there, because I'm like, those are projector, but there's no way they can set this up. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this is Hollywood stuff. There's no way this is for real, because this is one of them things. You know what I mean? And so I said, go over there and do something, scream or whatever. And she went into the parking lot, and I kid you not, the male and the female. This is before the kids came out. They came out afterward. They went back into the doorway, and I could see them peeking, just like one on each side. But where
Wow.
they were behind, there was cut off, so you could only see like they were literally behind the doorway looking out. And then once she came back across, but she couldn't see them when she was there. She said, what are they doing? She couldn't see them
Weird.
over there, but we could see them where we were at. But then when she came back across, that's when the little kids came out and they were like having this little party. I don't know. And then
Yeah.
after that, it looked like Indians, from what I can best describe it, coming down out of the woods with like these big buckets or something on their head, like they're carrying.
Water from
And
the river
then,
or something. Yeah.
yeah, years later, someone said there was an old creek back there, but it
Huh.
dried up. And
You
I
were
never went
seeing
down
all
there.
kinds of like impressions of things. It sounds like what did you think that was at the time, and what do you think it is?
Oh my! I just was like, okay, I saw this, and the next day I got online. This was like late '90s, and I found a ghost hunter website, and I called, I actually talked to them, and this actually might be them. I'm not sure, but it was two guys in a van that used to go around doing plumbing, and this was before they, it was just a paranormal site, and they said, go on our website and just put your story, type it in, and I told them what happened. I said, I don't know what, I don't want, you know what I mean? I can't explain it, but this is what I saw. And they said, well, it had just rained and the humidity, and they said something about the veils, at certain times in the weather, and I could have seen, they explained it to me, which I understand. Just like an electric storm or rain, right, or thunder. Do you
What
ever
do
find there's
you?
more activity when it thunders, right, and it's thunder and lightning,
Yeah, yeah,
and
electric.
rainstorms? Yeah, it's the weather does affect the paranormal,
Yeah,
and so I saw that, and that proved to me. I said, okay, so there is other things, and it's not just you know. And I'd always been into like UFO stuff, and then that there, which yeah, I think I don't know if I've been on a ship or what, but I didn't tell you about that thing I saw above my bed the one night when I was seeing those glowing balls.
yeah.
Once I became blind, I saw just once though that I remember, and it was right above my bed at like 3 in the morning. I woke up and I saw this little black square thing. And you remember the old chalkboard erasers from school?
Yeah,
They were like 6, 7 inches long, right?
yeah.
And you could erase the chalkboard. It looked like that, and it was just floating across. This was after I lost my sight. This was about a year or so ago. Above my head, it had one light above it, like on it, like one little light. And I'm like, what the heck is it? And I just watched it float off and disappear into it. So I don't know if that has anything to do or means anything, or if that was a mini UFO, because I've heard of people seeing little
Yeah, like
flying saucers.
little like the Men in Black at the very end of the
Yeah,
universe is in the
because
dog parlor's charm.
I've had the black
Yeah.
shadows. I've seen the black shadows. Yeah, I've seen the black shadows. I don't know if it's shadow people. I've got videos of that. I've got pictures, and I've got white mist and black mist. I don't know if that's good energy or bad, because they say black is. But why does
Well,
black have to
sometimes
be
black can
negative?
be protection too. Like
Okay,
Reiki
see, why
appears
does it have to
black
be
to me.
negative, right? I don't
Yeah.
understand why they always say black is evil.
Well, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
the main thing is just light and dark. If there's light and a shed on something, you're not in the dark. I think that's where that comes from. But and then people translated it to white and black. It's just light and dark. Like with light or without light is kind of how I see that
Like
metaphor
colors.
now.
Yeah.
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 Listeners, I want you to know that Harold has his own podcast. And I would love for you to check it out. Because as you can tell, he has a lot to tell you. He has a lot to say, and he's wonderful to listen to. I could listen to you all day. But would you like to tell the listeners where they can find your podcast or find out more about you?
Yeah, that was, see, it's so hard because there's so many different people that have the same names and things, and I didn't realize that, But so you got to look, if you look up what the handles too, right? Then you find the thing on social media. It's easier to do so. It's the Sullivan Project podcast. And on YouTube, it's Harold Sullivan 78, and TikTok, Harold Sullivan 78. And then on Facebook, it's Harold Sullivan period 35 or Harold Sullivan dot 35.
And I will put all those links in the description of the podcast. And is there
And
any?
listeners, I just want to say this real quick. Everybody has bad days and we all go through some stuff. But I know that we've just heard only part of Harold's story.
Very small part.
But, yeah, a very small part. But I can say this. If you think that you have it bad, there's always somebody out there that has it worse.
And if even in find a good perspective, yeah.
Even in Harold's situation, there's somebody that has it worse than he does. We all have situations where we feel like, we feel so bad about something, but I don't want anybody to ever forget that it could always be worse, and we can look at things and change our perspective, and things can come out a lot better on the other side of it.
If we
and Harold, you're a beautiful person.
Yeah.
You're just such a beautiful person. And I have been privileged, to have you on this podcast with us. It's been an absolute beautiful experience. And I really appreciate that.
Me too.
And we all have stories too. So we can maybe get together and find a way to do it.
Yeah, we could do this again sometime, hopefully. But do you have any advice for people who are listening, who might, any kind of advice you might want to give to anyone listening?
Advice, yeah. You got to, first of all, like I was saying, you're not a freak, you're not this, negative is not going to do anything. That's not going to help. So you got to get past that. You have to think positive about everything. You have to come with love. No matter, you don't have to like someone or something. You don't have to like someone to love them. You know what I mean?
True.
And like I always say, love is a choice, and so is to hate. That's how I end my podcast. Right?
I love that.
Love is a choice, and so is to hate. It is a choice. You don't have to like someone, but love them because they've been through stuff too, and you don't know. And when you get hurt, you carry it with you. They don't know the person that did that or whatever circumstance. They don't get the hurt, you do. So keeping it doesn't do any good. Let it go. Relax it. Talk with somebody, whatever. Find a way, like crystals and stuff, which you guys always talk about on the podcast. You know what I mean? And essential oils, meditations, whatever works for you, but do clean, healthy, not drugs, alcohol, whatever other. You get what this is your body, your temple. And if you clean it, you'll be healthier. You'll feel better. Your psychic will kick in more. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. And most people don't know.
Most people don't know that they're already doing it.
And they're already doing it. I can tell people, wait a minute, I can sit there and say, how do you not know that you think that? That's psychic.
Yeah.
All the time I'm pointing it out. Intuition, instinct. There's a couple other words.
And maybe
deja vu, right?
Harold, it sounds like you have some homework for the listeners for them to maybe pay attention and point out to themselves when this is going on.
Listen. Yeah. Listen to people. Just be quiet sometimes. Calm down. And then you'll have things come to you and you'll be able to make a decision instead of just being,
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, not reacting, but responding. Yeah. I like how you said that.
And do clean stuff, though. Yeah, do clean stuff like meditate. But whatever relaxes you, essential oil, music. In the dark, just lay down and quiet. That's so hard to do, though. Or go outside, like a lot of people talk about in nature. Do a garden or just talk and be with the trees or whatever. Animals, right?
Yes.
Do all that to relax. And I guarantee that you'll feel better. Everybody will.
Yes.
Pollute yourself, right?
Make it a better world, wouldn't it?
Well, we're all going to do this together. That's what we're here for.
Sounds good to me.
we got this. That's what we're here. That's
what we're here to do. We got it. Harold, thank you so much for being on the podcast and reaching out to be a guest. And Misty, of course, thank you as always. I'd also like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I'm an advisor on there under the name Lisa P, Leesa, and then P. And I have an Etsy shop. I have my tarot deck for sale on there. Misty's going to get some stuff up in that Etsy shop. There are all links on our website, www.we'reallpsychic.com. And you can get t-shirts, plugs, and everything like that too.
One more thing before we go. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, no.
Oh, but yeah, because you mentioned the tarot deck. We need people to invent these things for blind people.
They need to have a Braille tarot deck.
They do. Yes. Harold, you should do that.
Angel cards, oracle cards, tarot, because there's so many cards with that. I was like, oh no, there's 70s. But some other kinds will start off with a smaller deck, but I had researched, there's a couple, but there's not really much. And
right.
I could learn the Braille for the cards, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to look around the internet I bet there is something like that, Harold, and I'm going to find it for you. If there
Braille,
is.
Blind, they don't make it easy. What if you're blind?
Our listeners. Maybe the listeners know of one. Listeners, if you've heard of a deck of blind people that they maybe use, send me an email at lisa@wereallpsychic.com and I'll pass it on to Harold. Or you can find him. You've got his info.
Yes, thank you.
That's really cool. Yeah, maybe that does exist somewhere. I just have a feeling there's something like that for you. And there's always runes, Harold, because runes are a lot like tarot and you can feel the runes. I might send you some runes.
I got some. I actually have some.
Good. Try them out. Yeah, try that.
I tried them. I got crystals. And I'm thinking of making my own kind of, maybe I can write my own cards. I can draw. Maybe, I don't know. I'll figure out something.
You figure it out. I know you will. Yeah. If it doesn't exist.
I don't need it at all. I can be the vessel. You know what I mean? You can do, if you can read yourself and, whatever the circumstances, do what you got.
That's right.
You don't need to go and buy all these things. You can use what you got or grab something.
Yeah.
Simple. It's around. Yeah.
You can scry your picture if you want to. If you can see it.
I heard you talking about that. Yeah, I didn't hear about that before, but you can take a picture.
That's what I do a lot and ask my questions and look at myself.
You can swing things. Yeah, you can just, whatever. Swing yourself. I heard where you stand there, hold your arms and legs together and ask a question and your body goes one way or the other.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. Yeah. But thank you so much, Harold. And we'd love to have you back sometime. And I know I would, Missy. I imagine you would too.
Yeah, definitely.
And listeners, as always, we love you. And thank you so much for listening and watching. And we have another podcast tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have this one posted today. I don't know. I want to. And we love you.
Love you.
Misty, peace out, listeners and watchers. We love you. Good
night,
good evening, good morning, good day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.